Decky just flew in from Tucson. I was out recording a podcast with Straight Candid, and you were on the front porch taking in the Halloween decorations.
Vibing hard.
Love it.
Yeah, can you give us your hot takes on the Halloween decorations in our house?
I think that if there was a competition, you guys would probably take like top 3 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait till the sun goes down. There's hella lights on this house. Like the whole house is orange.
Oh man, I didn't see those.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It's
Got
absolutely
the deck vibes.
Yeah. Can you pull your mic even
just
closer?
a tad closer.
Yeah.
We want you to be in the pocket.
Yeah,
officially.
and you can pull it all the way. So if you want to sit back,
Yeah.
you can keep bringing the mic to you.
Oh yeah.
It should turn.
There you go, dude.
Sweet.
Boom.
There we go.
So
Man.
the last time I was in Minnesota, we
through Coachella. And that was the last time I saw Andrew, and literally the last time I saw you. Like, just insane. But I would like to start there, just because we were kind of walking through like how we met you. You know, Sid K challenged us to get you on the show. But even further back, we had your older brother on, Ayo, which we didn't even know you guys were brothers until Coachella, I'm pretty sure. But I think it's really cool we've come together. We came together at Coachella this year. Then he DM'd us like, hey, can I play this? And I looked at it like, it's a no-brainer.
I love it.
So you said that you recognized the Backpocket because we had your brother on,
Yeah.
and then you kind of saw Bochella floating around social media. And like, what was like going through your head when you're like, all right, these guys are throwing a boat party. The pandemic is happening, but like, I'm ready to perform and my music's hot.
Well, first off, great job on the ads. I saw them like crazy amount of times.
That's me.
and yeah, it's every time, dude.
Well, I was like, I love to perform. Like Decky and I were just talking about being on stage a little bit ago, and that's my outlet. That's when I like feel the most me is like when I'm up on stage performing music that I created. And so I was like, yo, this is an opportunity to potentially perform. It's outdoors. It's on a boat. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta at least shoot my shot, see if I can get on there. It had kind of struck me that like, you know, the pandemic was going on and whatnot, but
Mhm.
I'd also been like a part of like a lot of the marches that were going on. So I'm like,
Right.
you know, there's no way that there's going to be more people here than.
At Bochella than when in downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I already gave it a shot. I mean, let me do something I really, really enjoyed doing.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Had you performed any time before between like March and when we had Bochella in early August?
Yeah, so I did a good amount of the marches actually. So
Okay.
I was pretty close with the 10K Foundation who was putting on the marches. So I got a chance to perform at a number of those. So.
That's awesome. How'd you get involved with that?
So I had a residency with the Moxie in Uptown, and Tayo, one of the organizers of the 10K Foundation, and one of the organizers of like Thursday with the Moxie. If you guys ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
He was a part of the 10K Foundation, like kind of ran all the events. And his artist Jackie Cavins, super dope artist by the way. If you guys don't know her, Jackie Muzik, I think I should know her IG handle.
Okay.
But they were like, hey, do you want to perform at these? And I'm like, yeah, of course I want to perform.
Of course, yeah. Because I think that's a lot of it too. Is
Just getting stage time, which is what I've been deprived of these last 3-4 months mainly. Just getting up there. It doesn't matter if it's like 4 people or 40 or 400. Like, you want the opportunity to just be able to continue to feel a tad more comfortable on stage.
Right.
The last thing too is that was what I was most impressed with you at Coachella was, you know, wasn't the stage was on the same platform as all the people up on that top deck. So I found it hard for me just to get everyone's attention. And you going out into the crowd and rapping at the same time, performing, kind of getting everybody involved, like it just captivated everybody that was up on that top road.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. It's I think so with the Moxie, that was Moxie in Uptown's a hotel, but
okay.
with that thing on Thursdays, we didn't have a stage, you know, so that was like a cool opportunity for me to get a lot of comfortability with performing in front of a crowd for one, but also like practice engaging while I'm not like higher up than the crowd, you know. I was always
Right. At a high level.
Yeah, you
Yep.
know, every single Thursday. So I just kind of I just kind of got used to it. It wasn't even really like a thing to me.
That's
I was
sick.
just like, let's go.
What has been your so wait,
How
how
long have you been making music for now?
So I've been playing instruments and singing for like church and school since I was a young kid. Started singing for choir probably like first, second grade.
what was your favorite like old time choir / church song that you just like belted?
Oh, man, that's a good one. Probably like Silent Night. I got to sing a solo on that.
There
like,
it is.
Third grade, so that's got a real nice spot in my heart. Yeah, a lot of them weren't great. You know, singing in school was like the songs that they wanted you to sing, not necessarily what you wanted to sing. But Silent Night's got a nice spot in my heart for sure.
Yeah,
That's a great take.
Deck has a buddy who. What's the song your buddy's dad wrote?
Seed scattered and sown. I grew up Catholic, so this is a very like Catholic dedicated song.
Yeah.
Because they had these like big Pew Missal books every year, and you sing the same songs, which is why I asked you like what songs you're singing in the choir. But yeah, what like a worldly renowned famous song is "Seed Scattered and Sown."
Can you give me a sample?
Seed scattered and sown. We gathered and grown. I can't remember. Like, there's another. Something like that. It's literally it ain't great, but it's
anything special. But it went global, and
But your buddy's
the
dad wrote that.
Yeah.
My buddy's dad wrote the song.
Wow. Is he still getting some nice royalties from that, or like how does that work?
I don't know. He was in doctorate school at CU, and that's where it kind of came about.
Yeah.
Him and his buddies just started singing at church, and then they made an album, and then it got picked up. It was hilarious.
Wow. That is dope.
It was absolutely bananas. But so I want to know. So you kind of started with church and whatnot.
Church and school, and then about third grade. Well, so the drummer at our church was really cool. He super cool. He was like a younger guy in comparison to like the rest of the choir and band, and so I always like looked at him and I was like, if I could do that, like if I could drum like that, like life wouldn't be so bad.
Sure.
And so we'd just like stay around after church and like beat up the drums a little bit. And then Io, my older brother, he played the drums as well. And so I was like, yeah, I got to play the drums. And was singing, playing the drums a little bit. Like I never had a drum set at that time. But about fourth grade, started playing the trumpet. I feel like everybody's got like that band instrument that their parents make them play.
Oh yeah.
And so mine was the trumpet. Wasn't too crazy about that, but like had fun with it. Sixth grade came around and I was like, okay, I want to be a rock star. So I got like my first guitar at 12 years old, and that's the first time I'd like written a song. Like I would learn some chords and some stuff off YouTube, and then started filling in my own words. I think the first song I wrote was about my elementary school and like something along the lines of how it was fun to go and play and like I think I might remember it, but I'd have to get the guitar in my hand. And then just going forward, I think like 8th, 9th grade, that's the age where everybody started like freestyling, and that was a thing for sure. And I started to realize I was a little bit better than the rest of my friends.
Yeah, people were getting hyped up around you.
Yeah. So like my friends would be like, yo, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm just at home and be like, yo, could we come pick you up? Like, just like freestyle maybe. And so that made me feel amazing, like
That's
people
cool.
got pumped when I was like rapping. It's like definitely like something creative. Like a lot of people might get like very insecure about that, but getting that like acknowledgement from friends was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. And so started writing a little more seriously then, and like writing. And then we talked a little bit earlier about Mac Miller being a big influence, and seeing him do his thing, me seeing him do his thing at a younger age. I was like, yo, this is so cool. Like he's being himself, he's having fun. Like I want to do this. Like I want to give this a try. So I was like already freestyling. So I started like writing a little bit more, and then shortly after that, dropped like my first project on like datpiff.com.
No way.
If you guys remember.
Yeah, dude.
Datpiff.com. Yeah. I think I was like 16 at the time. It was called Plan B. It's definitely still up there. So if anybody takes the time to go and check that out.
Should we go back and play some tracks?
We might have to.
How many tracks were on Plan B?
It was either 9 or 11. I really don't remember.
Okay.
It was probably
pretty hefty though.
Yeah, it was probably like 9 tracks.
And where did you go to start recording songs? Like, was that a trial and error process for someone to start creating beats for you and rhymes? And like, I'm assuming you're writing your own music, but then the actual like production behind the scenes stuff.
It really maybe, but it really just happened like it was supposed to happen. Now looking back on it, if I were like, I want to start rapping, like, how do I do it? That would have been difficult. I would have had to like start searching. But like, I was at school one day and like I walked into the staircase and there was these 2 kids. They had like, one had his computer and there was like a little like setup mic. I think he had it in a cup or something. And they were just like recording. And I was like, what the hell? And like, I think I'd been writing for like a couple months at that point. And so I just saw them like, they're making music. And I'm like, okay, like this is dope. I'm going to hang around and just like be the lingerer for a second.
Yep.
I didn't think the dude was very good. I'm like, yo, I got bars. I'm just thinking in my head, like, yo, if I get a chance to get on this mic, I got bars, dude. Like, hold on, let me. And so they finished up their song, and then I approached the kid, like I knew him, and I was like, yo, I got a song, like I'd love to record. I'd love to if I could. And they're like, yeah, whatever, we're getting this done. Kind of like brushed me off a little bit because they were already in the middle of something. It was definitely an interruption, but got to record finally like the next day with this guy. And you know how you're like about to do, you're working on something and you don't actually know how good it is because like you never showed it to anybody and you're hoping it's great. Like you feel good about yourself. Or like the first time you cook a food or like something, you're like, oh yeah, this is fire. And you don't know if it's like fire because it's fire or fire because you're proud of yourself.
Because of the fire within.
You're just proud of yourself for, creating something. And so I'm like, yo, I think this is pretty good. And so we did it. And like the dude, he was pretty chill about it. Like I wasn't fully the reaction I was hoping for, but the fact that he like hit me up the next day and like, after that, he was like, yo, this is dope. Like, we should do this again. We should do this again. I was like, yeah, just kept on going with it. It was dope, man. It was the first time I was like doing something that wasn't necessarily like, I'm the youngest of my family, like out of my brothers. And so it was the first time that it was like something that was mine. It wasn't like sports where everybody else has done it or like certain like instruments or whatever that everybody else had done. It was like, yo, this is me. Like, yeah, I could do this.
You're owning it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. And so shortly after that, like we had a little in the band and choir room at our school, there was like little studios that like the band and choir kids would have to record like their projects on. And so we like asked if we could use them, and they're like, yeah, if you get here before school starts. So we just started going in at like 6 a.m. like before school and just recording songs like for a good minute. And like we were like, yeah, we're gonna put out a project.
And that was Plan B.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
One I found.
Yeah, by the way.
So there's two like that I would really vibe with. I'll let you guys pick out of them. Lovely Day is like the one that I'm probably like most impressed with. That was the first one we'd ever recorded. But I think it was Daylights. That was like a just a no verse, no hook, just bars going, and it was like to I think it was like a Peter, Bjorn, and John like instrumental, or no, it was like. You guys know that song at all? Yeah, it was like over that beat.
Oh, Matt and Kim?
Yeah, Matt and Kim. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Are you guys ready for this?
That's fire.
It's like I feel like I made my voice deeper then than it is now.
Even deeper?
Yeah. This is Lovely Day.
Oh, this is Lovely Day. Whoops. We'll start with this.
I wake up in the morning, thank the Lord for making me. I kiss my mom's, then I'm out the door, don't wait for me. Head to the sky, feet on the pavement, surrounded by a couple friends saying I'm gonna make it. I keep a smile as I move along. Mama told me never forget where I'm coming from. I started out with the least confidence. Couple dudes around me saying I wouldn't amount to shit. I wish they could see the grin up on my face now. Then I bet them dudes are walking with their face down. I'm just doing what I love. Spitting from the soul, got a little bit of buzz. Keep my head up, they fed up. They wanna see me down. They wanna see me fall and they wanna see me frown. I don't listen to what haters say cause they don't know me anyway. I open up my eyes and I press them on the prize.
This is dope.
Yeah, it's kind of a long one, but like, yeah, I like it was. That was what I had in my head when these guys were in the staircase.
That was it.
That was the song that I had in my head. I'm like, yo,
I want to hear this Matt and Kim remix.
that's a good one. That's a good one. I like.
So wait, what is this? I think I missed this website.
Datpiff.com was like the mixtape era.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Where
like
you got
Before
all,
SoundCloud.
like the first Dap
Yeah.
one that I put on there or that I downloaded from there was the Kid Cudi The Prayer.
yeah.
Ah, gotcha. I got it
And
on YouTube after, but that was like probably 2 years after that.
Dap Piff was where like every mixtape was uploaded before SoundCloud even. I
Oh
think.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
It was this song is sick, and I think there's one other one.
Because Cuddy was found on MySpace.
really.
Yes.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that's crazy.
man. MySpace. MySpace. Didn't they bring that back like with for like a different purpose or something?
Probably something like that. Yeah.
I
Social
think
media.
Justin Timberlake bought it or something.
Okay.
Did you really?
So
Tried to
I
revive
could be
it.
totally wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, Cuddy and like we were talking off air, Mac Miller. That was my upbringing on hip hop.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here it is.
This is you mashed up to Matt and Kim?
Yeah.
I love this song.
They saying talk shit and I'm making actions. I'm rapping kinda nice to tell with all the fashions. And I'm just following my dreams, trying to make it in this world, but it's harder than it seems. Gotta push to the limit, going over and beyond, making all this magic happen like I found a magic wand. And if you're thinking I ain't got it, you should think again. Living in this dream, got some paper and a freaking pen. I'm buzzing like the last second of a ball game. Had to get my cell phone out so I could call fame and tell them I'll be on my way and that I'm sorry for the wait.
This
but
is
I was
really
chilling
good.
with my gang.
I'm impressed, bro. I'm impressed. I love hearing that shit.
16 years old.
16 years old.
Dude.
And it's so funny listening to it now because it's like, whose voice was that?
Yeah. And you're hanging out as a sophomore,
Yeah.
junior-ish era. And you drop this mixtape. What was it like in high school? Like, were people like vibing in their way to school, like with your tracks?
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah.
like, I was like, I was on the football team, and so I had a theme song for my football team. So
Got
I
it.
played that like on the field like Friday nights for games and stuff. That
Very
was dope.
cool.
But I was like, yo, when we drop this, I'm selling this. I'm selling this. And I had a bunch of like blank discs. Sold it for like $5 a piece. And did like a decent amount of promotion. I feel like promotion is pretty easy to do when you're in high school. You know, everybody knows everybody, and like everybody talks. So like,
It spreads like wildfire.
yeah,
Much quicker.
So I just like kind of put the word out that it was dropping. I think I said I was recording a song one time. And I was like, yeah, Plan B drops April 1st. Like in the intro, at the time, it didn't have like maybe had one or two songs like written and recorded, like not at all like ready to drop an album or talk about it. Like, it was in the moment, you know. And so I said it, and it just
Right.
I had to go with it.
Hold yourself accountable. April 1st.
Yeah, but no, it was dope. You know, people that I didn't know. I remember when Lovely Day dropped. That was like the single that dropped in Michigan. It was kind of like the motivation to actually drop a project. Like people like from other schools were like hitting. I remember my Facebook timeline was just filled. Like, you could probably go back and check it out now, but like the love that I was getting was like, yo, this was like insane. Like, just like a new. I was like, I played sports and was just like whoever I was like prior to then, and then like this was something that nobody knew about me at all for the most part.
That's really cool.
And so like I was really nervous about like the dude who recorded it. He was the one who released it first on YouTube. I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, dude, take that. Like, we're not dropping that. We can't. No, take that down. And like was just like super insecure about it. And then the feedback was like insane. Like I'm sure you guys could like relate, like with the podcast or like even with football, like, you know, getting that congrats or like hearing that you're doing like something that you love to do or you enjoy doing that like nobody's making you do is like appreciated, and like people feel something from it or gain some type of value from it. It was like, yo, I love that feeling right there. Like, I love that feeling.
Yeah.
Right there.
Amen. 100%. Because you said it best when you're like cooking. You make that meal for yourself and like, oh, this is dang. This was fucking amazing. I put all this time and effort into it and I loved it. And then you make it for someone else. And when you're doing that, then you get the nerves build up. But when you do that, when you put yourself in that vulnerable state and you get rewarded for it, that's the why I podcast, or why I started continue to do Backpocket, because when we throw these out there, I mean, I know they're good. Like every episode we do, I know they're good, and I know that that person's story is authentic and they're true to themselves, and they just got real on this podcast for an hour. I'm like, like, thank you. I'm grateful for that. And then I believe it's good. But then when someone else reaches out, any listener, whether it's the same person every single time or someone new that guest brought in a new audience, and they just say, hey man, love hearing Bayo on the podcast this week.
Yeah.
That's just like, dude, thank you. Thanks for listening. Yeah. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways. Like now they're taking time out to get vulnerable and like say thank you and like give you that affirmation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and especially like in high school, kids aren't the nicest, you know, like, so hearing people like you said, people going out of their way to acknowledge like what I was doing, like literally like kids commenting on like my Facebook like feed saying like, yo, this really touched me, or like some people saying like this was like the best song I've ever heard, you know. Maybe that was honey. I don't know if like cap was a thing back then, like is that cap? But yeah, maybe a little bit of cap, but still
no cap, bro.
No cap. But it was just like, yeah, like this is something, and
it's already on, by the way.
Okay.
It's over there. But anyways, dude, that's fucking sick. Like, I going off of like just when someone gives you that affirmation, it's like,
it's surprising to me. It's like surprising because I don't do the things I love. To put it out there expecting such love. I did it so much for myself that I like, because I enjoy doing it so much that like when I can bring people along with me to do that, and they go as far to say like thank you, or I really like what you're doing, like then that's just it's surprising because that's never your main goal. You're like doing it to please people, but when people are pleased, you're like, fuck yeah, this is sweet. And then it's weird because
it's a little confusing.
It's very confusing because like we could get caught up in downloads, we can get caught up on Instagram likes, we can get caught up just on like sheer engagement on what we're doing, but when you cross that over with like how you feel, that's when it gets a little dangerous. And what I've realized kind of even really this past like summer is like we're like I think personally we're doing like between Andrew and I back in the corporation, I think we're doing more than we've ever done in our whole scope of what this thing called Backpocket. Yeah. But like the numbers and all the videos that we've been putting out, all the content has been like almost completely opposite. Like we're just not putting out as much content anymore. If you look at all the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes, almost everyone knows we're trying to educate people all the good, but it's not as highly engaged or whatever it is. Whatever we're doing less podcasts too. What I'm getting at is the fact that I still get so much sheer enjoyment from doing it, regardless of like me telling people about it. Yeah, it's weird. Like you said, it's a balance.
Right. No, totally.
The ebbs and flows of being in the content industry, I mean, you're active on social media just as much as we are, if not more. And, you know, it's all comes in waves with, you know, when you put something out there and is it going to be well received or not. And in high school, you really hit stride. You're the youngest in your family. You found your craft, like something that you believe in, music.
Yeah.
You're 16 years old. You drop your first project. You got the affirmation that you weren't expecting, but it came because you believed in yourself. What was it like transforming into like taking it serious? Like I'm gonna make this a career out of it. Like I am now gonna take. I mean, it's obviously comes in a few years down the line, but like, what was that like? Grasping music by the balls and being like, I'm gonna make a career out of this.
So that's actually like a pretty interesting story. Like high school, I think at a young age like that, I was like, yo, I'm going to have a record deal by the time I'm 18. I'm going to be rich. Like I'm going to be rich and famous.
No
like, you know, like at 16, isn't that how we all think? But that didn't happen. And so it was just like, I didn't really understand consistency when it came to like the music. I thought that the fact that like I thought I had a quality like piece of work, you know, a number of songs, and I was talented, and I thought I was a nice person. Like I thought that was kind of what it took, you know. So after some time, like had gotten a little discouraged, wasn't doing as much into college, and would still always freestyle. Like everybody, I feel like who knew me always knew that I could freestyle, and that was something I enjoyed doing. And if you were my friend, you knew that I had a couple recorded songs that weren't really out. Started to release some singles, but then like I was like, I made that same announcement like, yo, this project dropping this time, and like just never had any songs actually. I had them written, never recorded, and I didn't know where to record at this time, you know. So college came, kind of had some other things on my mind, strayed away from that for some time actually, and maybe about 20. So this was probably about like a 3-year period where it wasn't really my thing. Like I'd always somewhere in my head was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper, like I'm gonna be an artist. But like for me to say that, it wasn't something that like people met me and knew, because like a lot of people who met me over that period of time had no idea, you know, unless you were like my good friend, you might have heard some of my songs that were on my phone and only on my phone. 2018 though, it was like I think really bringing back to like why I started rapping. Mac Miller passing was like a really big thing. Like, yo, like if I were to like die today, I would have like this talent that I thought, at least. I'd have this music. Like I was always writing music, you know. I would have all of this stuff that nobody like would know about, you know. It was like, if I were to die today, who would I be? Like, what would I be? You know, and that really just started to hit me. And like, I swear that week, I just started moving. I'm like, yo, what can I do? Like, what can I do to make sure that that's not how it goes down? You know, like, what can I do to make sure that who I end up as is who I wanted to be? And so just started, you know, writing more, definitely writing more consistently. Before then, it was just something that I was doing I wasn't really disciplined with it. It was like, if I had something cool to write, I would write that. But It wasn't like I was doing it every day, and I had some structure around it.
Are you still in school at this point?
I'm not at this point, no.
Okay.
But like, I was like, all right, like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna put out music. If people don't like it, that's cool. That's up to them. Like, but I'm gonna do it. And so around that time, just started meeting people. Like I met my homie Caleb, who was definitely like a really, really big part in the whole movement early on. And he was just like, I think I'd spit something that I'd wrote to him or something, or a song that I had. And he was like, dude, this is so good. Like, this is so fucking good. Like, and I think it was like at the bar or something. So it wasn't like he kind of stopped. Like, he was like, dude, this is so good. And like, we just kind of clicked at that moment. He was like, no, you've got to do something with this. Like you have to do something with this. And I was like, yeah, like, you love hearing that. I was like, yeah, like for real. It's like, dude, like, no, like I don't. Like he got like straight face like real quick. And so
Got all serious with it.
And so I'm like, yeah, let's figure something out. And so we had just he'd had a camera, and so we were like linking up pretty often and just like trying to makeshift like something. Like we felt like we were doing something because we'd like set up a tripod and like talk about shit or like take pictures. And I was like, okay, that's what rappers do. They take pictures. They take a lot of pictures, And so he was definitely like encouraging me to like write a lot more. And so I was doing it. I'm like, okay, like what's the next step? Like what's the next step? Started like introducing myself as an artist. Started like putting it on Instagram. I had old songs from way before that I just recorded and had on my phone that I was like, yo, I'm going to start putting this out. Like maybe I'll put out this project that I said I was going to put out like 3 years ago. And
when you say introducing yourself as an artist, it's simply just like meeting new people.
Yeah.
I'm an artist.
Yeah. Getting comfortable, because it was kind of embarrassing. Like, not being confident in being an artist and saying it, because then like you could see it on my face. I'm like, oh yeah, like I like kind of rap. Like I like,
Right.
Or like look down at the ground.
But on the rock.
Yeah, it's like, so I was doing that, and like being around like him and like a number of other people like made me more confident. I feel like you're confident when you're with people who believe in you,
Yes.
So I was able to start saying that a bit more, and like we'd go places and I'd rap. Like I'd freestyle, I'd rap, I'd show them my songs, and I was like, yeah, I'd do this. Like I had it in my mind. It was like creating it in my mind that this is where we're gonna go. Like, so I think that it helped that I thought I was way like bigger in my head than like I was at the time. Like that helped me start to be able to like say, yeah, I'm a rapper, even though it wasn't super confident. But as 2018, that was like, I feel like the second half of 2018, because what did Mac pass in like September? So like
I can look it up.
September, like 20 something.
September. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, producer Jonah.
So like up until then, until like beginning of 2019, I was just like, yo, we're doing this. And then I'd actually went to, I had a really big issue with Xanax.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man, that was a really, really, really big issue of mine. And I'd went to inpatient treatment.
Holy fuck.
And it was crazy. But at the time, like while I was in inpatient treatment, it gave me an opportunity to like really just like focus on what I wanted to do, my priorities. So from the day that I got in there, I was writing every single day. Like
when was it?
This was end of 2018, like shortly after Mac's passing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. How long were you in treatment for?
It was about a little under 2 months.
A little under 2 months.
And, if you care to share, I would like to know like what drove you to seek help.
Oh man, definitely family. Like I think the big thing, I'm so grateful for my parents. It wasn't anything that was ever okay. Like my parents are both immigrants from Nigeria, and so it was brand new to them. Like they had the first time I think my mom had seen weed was from me. So it was like absolutely like no, like not okay. Like it was terrible. So the more that they would push it on me, it was like, okay, like, yeah, maybe I'll go. But I think after Mac's passing, I was like, yo, I don't know. My brother had hit me up. He was like, I know you were really into this guy, and like I'm thinking like, this could be anybody. It could be you. And just hearing that, it started to be really unattractive, just like it was really unattractive. I was like, yeah, it's hard to, addiction is something that's like tough. You might realize some days that you want to like not do it, but like those neural pathways that you built, like you're addicted, so it's not just like no, I'm not going to drink this water right here. It's like,
right.
It's like it's in you, so like you might be like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm like, oh, and and just like you find yourself like the next day or something, like, damn, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And so
It's nice that you had your family with you.
yeah,
Like, you know, supporting you along the way.
yeah, definitely. So the Mac thing was huge, you know. Mac thing was huge in both the music and like getting some help, you know. So even within that, my parents were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this." We got signed up, but they were still like, "Maybe I don't want to do this. It's a commitment. Treatment sounds boring." But went, you know, we went, and it was the greatest like experience of like my life at this point. Like as far as I was writing every single day. You don't have shit to do. Like you're literally going somewhere where you have no responsibilities other than to work on yourself, you know?
Damn.
And so I was writing every single day. Like I made it a thing to myself. I'm gonna write at least 16 bars a day. Some days I'd write like hooks only. Some days I'd write verses. But I'm like, I'm gonna do that. And then every Tuesday night there was like family night, and so you had an opportunity. Like if you were a creative or something, you could perform. So I was performing like in treatment every Tuesday night.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, dude. It was nuts. It really was. And so built a lot of confidence around like being on stage in there, and then like just got some discipline when it came to like the work ethic of like creating. And so by the time I got out, I was like, yo, let's go. Like, let's go. Like the day that I got out was actually the producer that I'd messed with for Say What, OZ, super dope dude. He had hit me up and was like, or no, I hit him up. I'm like, yo, we're back. Let's go. And he's like, yeah, bro, I've been waiting on your ass. And he sent me an instrumental, and it was actually it was the instrumental for Living the Dream that day. And so like I'm in the car headed back like home, and I'm just like, I'm listening to the beat. I'm like, oh shit, like, let's go. Because all throughout treatment, like you can't have your own music. So like I had a radio, and so whatever was on the radio, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna just write to this. And so I'd have to switch the tempo as like the song switch. So it was like I didn't get to choose what I was writing to, but like first beat was the Living the Dream beat, and was just like writing. I was like, I've been on a hiatus, took a break from getting faded. It was true, you know, and just was like,
wow,
yeah, you know. And I was like, yeah, this is it right here.
This is special.
We're doing this. Like I was so excited and so grateful to have my phone, like my headphones, like and be able to do that. And I was like, I knew like getting out of treatment, like as soon as I got out, like we're going to the studio, like we're getting a studio, like I'm doing this. I'm recording music, like I am doing this. Like had that clear vision in my head. I'm like, it's going down. And it did. Like I got out on like a Thursday. I was in the studio Saturday, recorded Living the Dream. And from there was just like looking for like different places to record. I was like, yo, let me just tap into my resources, find out how I could do this. And like, it was just the clarity. I was like, I know I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I know I'm going to do this, and it's going to be dope. So just like my mindset was built in treatment, you know, like my mindset, like my motivation towards like making this shit happen was built in treatment. And like I got to perform like a number of times there, dude. Is like,
that's so cool.
Yeah, like I feel like I really, really like found like the growing me, like the grown up me, like at that point.
Found the new version of yourself.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Found the new version of yourself.
I think that is amazing. The opening lines of that have been way on. What is that? Been way on hiatus.
I've been on a hiatus, took a break from getting faded.
That's literally that. Those words, those lyrics have so much more meaning now with that story behind it.
Yeah, so like No Rules, that whole project, like a lot of those songs were actually written in treatment to like radio, like KDWB type songs. And just like every time a new song switched, I'd have to like switch the tempo. But it's like, you know, when you're writing a song, like everything's like the same. It's just like faster, like a faster BPM or slower, you know. It's like, so I was writing the same verses just to like different songs.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, Living the Dream is like one of my favorites of yours.
Thank you. Just hit 20K on Spotify last week, actually.
That's fucking sweet.
I love how you handle your social media with Spotify, always making sure that your Spotify handle like you can swipe up. Like you have that on Snapchat, on Instagram, and I think that's just savvy. Like whenever it disappears, you then post it again. I just think that's smart. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very smart. But I was playing that song at work in Arizona one time, and I just like, well, that's one of my favorite things is when someone stops you and is like, yo, who is this? It's cool if it's just a song you found and it's like from your Discover page. It's a whole other thing when I'm like, this guy fucking played at Bocello. Like, I know this dude. Like,
and they're like, hey, this is my song. I'm like, fuck yeah, it is. Bayo rips, dude.
Bayo rips. Maybe I'll change that to my Instagram handle.
Bayo rips. No, dude, I love
what we've been doing with going on runs and shit.
Yeah.
So when did you start? Well, so I guess the context is on Bayo's Instagram story. He's always posting himself doing some motivation shit while running. I happen to do the same thing from time to time as well. So you're not bouncing back and forth ever since we've been starting to do that. But when did you start like really running? Because you actually just ran a half marathon, picked up over a half marathon not too long ago, right?
I did about 2 weeks ago.
Fuck yeah.
What
was the reason behind that?
Dude. So my friend Andrea she qualified for the Boston Marathon, and that got canceled due to COVID. And so they did a virtual Boston Marathon where you just run it wherever you're at. And that was the day she was running hers. I told her I would run 10 miles with her. I'd never run 10 miles in my life, and woke up late and basically got, I think, only like 3 miles in with her or so. And I was like, while I was running with her, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to finish this 10 for you. And so I'm running the 10. I get to 7.5 or 8. I'm like, yo, I'm running a half. I'm like, because I wanted to run a half marathon prior to COVID. Like I was planning to. That's kind of like a little bit how it started, but I'll talk about how like the running started a little bit. But I was like, yo, I'm going to do this. If I get to 10 miles, why wouldn't I run a half marathon? I'd have to start all over again another time, run a whole 10 miles plus 3.2,
3.3, whatever it is.
You know, like I'm going to do this right now. Like, let's go. And so just kept going, man. And it was like it was amazing. It was like a crazy, like mental experience for me. But I didn't plan to at all. Just basically, I planned to run 10 miles that I didn't know if I was actually going to run.
Yeah. And the running aspect is built into more of a bigger brand, right? The Morning Muzik kind of like it's bigger than you in the sense of like you're trying to funnel people not in just Bayo but also this brand.
Yeah. So the running, I'll just back up a little bit. The running started when I first started performing. My first show, like, had a lot of energy, but my breath support was shit. And so I was like, how could I work on the breath support? So started running a little bit more in the mornings.
Very nice.
Just like rehearsing lyrics, especially with the Moxie thing. I was like, you know, I can't just come every week and like have a great smile and like have a lot of energy, but not be able to say the words.
Yeah, just gas out. Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna get old soon. But like with Morning Muzik, man, it just ties in. Morning Muzik is really not. It's about the music because I make music, but it's really just that like motivation or that push or that light in the morning that everybody needs. You know, like I think that people wake up in the morning and like, hit snooze. You know, so it's that extra kick. Like, yo, let's go. Like it's a movement. You know?
Yeah. No, I subscribe to that.
Just waking up in the morning to go and run or go work. Like today is officially my first day off in 23 days. Worked 23 straight days. But I've had to wake up at 5 every single day.
10-hour days.
10, 12-hour days. It's exhausting. But
in Arizona too, which is what?
100 piss out there. 100 piss out there, folks. Still getting my bets in though. No. Don't forget about that. Still making bets. Just want to get that out there. Anyways, I digress. That I always give myself I give myself, but I also just like actually have at least one egg of fat when I wake up at 5 a.m. I will never hit snooze. I always hit stop. I get up within those first couple minutes. I usually just go right to work or go on run. But that first thought more likely than not is like, I don't want to go run, or I don't want to go work, I'm too tired. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Maybe I can skip. There's like that lingering excuse, and I think that energy that you're trying to bring with Morning Muzik is the more or less the fuck you to that mentality, and the ability to look at conquering that first thing in the morning super positively, because if the morning music that I feel is when I finish that run and I'm on the way to work at 6 o'clock. And I got my run in, I got my water, I got my coffee on my way to work, listening to tunes. Like that's the feeling that I want to go for, and that's the feeling that I envision when I'm at the worst spot, like right when my run.
Yeah, man, that's the music. The music isn't necessarily like a song or tune. Like it's the feeling, it's the words, it's the push, it's the self-talk. Like it has nothing to do with music. That's why it's spelled like M-U-Z-I-K.
Right, I noticed that. Yeah,
it's like it's that push. It's the feeling that you get. It's really like battling with yourself, and getting past it, but also like bringing it into a collective. I think that you can't necessarily do things by yourself. If you depend on yourself always, like you might not make it. You have to have a group or a friend, at least maybe just one friend that you can reach out to, and or that you could ask yourself, what would so and so do? And I just want to be that. I want to be that person in the morning who can bring some sort of light to you. It's better when you smile. You look better when you smile. Like smile about whatever it is that might seem like some BS that is not good, because like there's a way that you can spin that into like greatness, that hurt when you're running, or that hurt when you're getting that last pump in. Like you could spin that in your favor, but you could also use it as an excuse. So it's just like doing the opposite and like using it in your favor, to get to the next thing. Because
100%. Building community right now is more important than ever, especially with the year that we've had, from, being home alone with the pandemic to the racial injustice stuff, especially here in our own city. You have it on your hat right now. In diversity, we trust.
Hybrid Nation, baby.
Hybrid Nation, Jeremy. Get that new collab,
Kellen David,
and get that new collab with Nolan with Opinion Clothing.
Fire. One of my favorite fits, I will say.
Amen.
There you go.
But like, just that's even a perfect example. Building community, using the people around you and uplifting them, because if they're winning and you have a chance to help them win, you're ultimately going to win together. And if you can create something such as Morning Muzik to create just inspiration, to create some juju in the morning where it's like, all right, let's fucking go. Like other people are going to be vibing to this concept that may be vague, it may be off the beaten path, but it's something that we can all rally behind. That's positive. I mean, it's contagious. It's fucking beautiful.
And I can't even say that it's like from me, I think I just put a name to it.
Right.
Put my own like sticker over it.
God, I love it. And I mean, we got to experience it a little bit together, going to Karim Gym last week.
Man.
Yeah.
How was that, bro?
That was
We're about to go tomorrow.
So I've been to it twice now. The first one was whew, man, like I think I might still be sore from it. I was trying to it was just nuts. Like I think 2 days ago, I was doing Monday of this week. We went last Thursday, but it was Monday of this week. I was doing like my ab workout. I was like doing some leg raises, or I was trying to do some leg raises. I think I did 3, and I'm like, yep.
These are more like leg declines.
We're not doing this today. My hip flexor like was not working. I was just in pain. But it felt so damn good. Like it felt so damn good that I just had to be like appreciative of it. Like when you like are pretty like active in your fitness, like you don't always get sore. So when you get an opportunity to get sore like that, you just got to be like, all right, I'm grateful for this. This is dope.
Amen.
This is dope. I can appreciate this.
Yes. Little context, Karim Gym, run by Brogan Graham in his garage of his own home. He started it like 2 weeks ago, moving into his place maybe a month ago. And he built a little gym in his garage. Declan got invited on the very first opening day.
Yeah, I'm a founding workout member that I haven't even
No
been.
way.
but he was in Tucson, so he couldn't make it. So he threw a group chat of Jonah and I in saying, yo, you should hit Brogan up and be like, I want to come, or Brogan, these guys are interested in coming. I went the very first day and I was obsessed because you get there. I mean, it's a half-hour drive. It's not like an easy commute. No. You have to wake up at like 4:40 to get there.
Basically.
So you're already winning the day. Like if you get up before 5, fuck, you've owned that day already. Right. And if you're going to do something that's not required, like it's not actual work, this is something that you chose
entirely
to
voluntary.
It's entirely voluntary. So you're owning the day. You get there and it's in the neighborhood. Like it's not anything like
showing up to a suburb.
It's not anything swanky. Like you're just in a garage. But the people there, 5:30 in the morning, you get it. You do a slight workout or a slight warm up, and then it's a 40-minute AMRAP of just go nonstop 40 minutes straight of like different workouts. The one that we started off was a partner workout, and you worked out with Brogan.
Oh man, yeah. I think that's what got. I think that's why I'm still. Maybe that's why this last one wasn't so bad.
Yeah,
Brogan's hit peak.
Dad, I can't wait to ask him about this on the podcast tomorrow. We're recording at his gym tomorrow.
Right
after the workout, yeah. And you should come join us.
I think I am.
Fuck yeah, sweet.
I think I am.
We'll be there. But I can't wait to ask him like what a peak dad moment for Brogan. You know, just recent father. These kids like 1 or 2 years old. He goes and buys a house in the suburbs. Gets settled down. The first thing he does is reinvent his garage, dude. That's what all dads do. I feel like he's peaking as a dad. I gotta confirm that though. He's peaking. Oh, for sure. He's peaking.
I think he's loving the suburb like dad vibe. Like he talks about it so much, and he's you can't blame him though. It's like stuff. His kid actually came out and worked out with us last Thursday.
No way.
Yeah, it was while we were there. Like he came out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he came out towards the end and just started pumping. I was like, that kid's a winner.
We started doing sprints with him. Yeah.
What's his name?
Lumi. Yeah.
Lumi.
Yeah. It's Brogan. His wife's name is Goldie, and their son's name is Lumi.
Is that her real name?
Goldie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goldie.
Yeah. Some great names.
That's dope.
She does like a ton of yoga and stuff from what I know.
Yeah.
I don't know much, but that's what I do know.
We do know that.
I will say we met Brogan.
Doing Embrace North, which is like jumping in the lake. You gotta do that when it gets cold enough.
Right. It's jumping in the lake when it's frozen over. So it's
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, Cedar Lake, which is just over here in Uptown, one lake over from Lake of the Isles, and there's the city cuts out a little hole that can fit maybe, I don't know, what would you say, 40 people?
Yeah, we fit 40 people.
40 people, and it's about, I'd say, belly button high, the water. But when you get in it, like after you've done it 1 or 2 times, you get kind of more comfortable with it. You just sink down and you're in a squat and go down to like right above your neck or below your neck, and you just sitting there for 20 minutes with
20 minutes
with a group of like 40 people, and
sing songs,
the first 45 seconds never gets easier. It is a nightmare.
I feel it right now.
Yeah, it is so cold.
Yeah, that was
definitely the most.
Brogan actually jumped out of the water. Like
we
10
didn't give him shit about that. Brogan jumped out.
He's from San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego or Boston.
I actually can't wait to give him shit about that too.
Yeah. Backpocket. Yeah, that's incredible, beautiful. But so you
Well, I want to jump in. Morning Muzik. Like it's just it's great energy. That's why I reached out to you. And then your music is starting to hit another stride. Like you're really consistent right now. You feel great about your music. You performed at Coachella, and I'll be like 100% transparent. You crushed. Like
crushed.
Not
absolutely crushed.
The reviews came back amazing, and mainly your music's awesome, but you're also just a great dude, and you're a performer.
You're very personable as well.
You got the crowd together. I mean, like it's a pandemic, right? People are kind of like off to the side. It's not easy to perform because people are in their little pockets of who they came with.
Right.
But you made sure to make everyone feel welcomed, and you got the raving reviews because of that. You walked around, you did your thing, and people loved it. So
thank you.
Like, congrats to you. You're performing more consistently right now. And I just got to ask, like, what's on the come up? Like, what are you striving to do to finish out the year, maybe come on in 2021?
So, coming up, I've got the Morning Muzik Mondays. I'll talk a little bit about that. Last year, after my first like bigger project, No Rules, I realized that like people, the first couple of songs, or like the first song really would have the most streams, you know. So that told me that people were willing to click, you know. But why at this point of my career are they like going to just sit there and listen to a whole hour worth of music, you know? Like, I feel like I would love for that to be the case, but like, you know, unfortunately, like in this day and age, like very ADHD, you know, like Instagram, the first 3 seconds are what dictates whether the post is going to be seen, you know? And so I was like, how can I release a project, but, you know, like have it in singles, you know, and videos. So what I did was I did 6 songs, 6 videos, and did Morning Muzik Mondays. And it was just like, everybody hates Mondays, right? So way to, you know, just lift up some people Monday mornings, something to look forward to. But we're doing that again. We're bringing that back. I've been working for the past couple of months to get these tracks ready. And so all of the tracks are fully recorded. A little bit of mixing left to do. Some super dope videos are made. A couple of them are out on the West Coast in LA and San Diego.
You released them specifically over there?
I shot them out there.
You shot them over there. I was
them
like,
out
wow,
there.
it's already out in LA.
Like,
That's so LA.
How do you do that?
It's so LA of you to have that over. That's so West Coast.
That was right after Bochella. It was in August at some point, right? And you went out.
Yeah, I went out to LA. So I went to San Diego a couple of weeks prior to Bochella.
Okay.
And then I went to LA like a couple of days after Bochella.
Gotcha.
How's the vibe in LA right now? Or San Diego?
I don't know if they know what like COVID is, honestly. Like in San Diego, like you wouldn't think that there was a pandemic. Like
Really?
you know, everybody's like, "Hey, what's good, man?" Hugs and like it's like it was popping. Like it was popping, and I was like, I don't know about this, but like I think I'm join in, you know. And luckily did not get COVID, but like I get back home and like I'm talking to my buddies like this week, everybody's got COVID. And so like definitely lucked out. That brought me back to like my senses.
So
but
this time,
I think we all got it at this point, right?
we had something.
Are we all immune?
Yeah.
supposedly,
I don't know.
hopefully.
If nothing came back serious with Bochella.
Yeah,
That's all.
we survived
We had
that.
zero in emails with
0 texts, 0 emails, 0 notification of
That
saying
was
someone's-
nuts.
215
people. I've got to say, Bochella was one of my favorite performances ever. Like,
Really?
hands down.
Oh,
like
fuck
next
yeah.
to Soundset, the best.
sweet.
That's
So dope. Like something like I've never done before.
God, that's
Well,
exciting.
we gotta do it again.
Yes, we'll run it back.
Let's go.
So this time you're releasing Music Mondays, and you got the music recorded.
The music's recorded.
You're dropping the
You
date,
planned it
but
ahead
you
of
already
time.
got the music ready. Unlike
Yes.
the previous time.
Yes.
Good
yes.
work, dude.
Dude, even with last year's Morning Muzik Mondays, like I was like, the songs would drop on Sunday. You know, or on Monday. There was some songs that I was in the studio finishing on Saturday.
Oh wow.
Or videos that had to be made. So it's just like I've done that so many times and have just gotten really optimistic with dates and like, yo, we're doing this, you know, in the moment. And it didn't always work out. So this time around, I hadn't really talked about it even, you know, and just kind of moved in silence over quarantine. Did a lot of like working on myself and like my mindset and just like this project and making sure that everything was like very, very intentional and like put together. There's like, you don't want a rush job, you know, like maybe you can get lucky with a rush job and like have a success, but it's like 7 songs, 7 videos, like, you know, something's going to get messed up if you're just trying to like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, so, putting the songs together, everything's together. I'd actually worked on about, I think since, February-ish, like 27-ish songs. So it was really just about like taking the 7 that I wanted. We're doing 7 this time around.
That's
you know, taking the 7 that I think most represented the morning music vibe. Like, what would be helpful for people on a Monday morning? You know, what would be of value to for people to hear on a Monday morning, and that's what these 7 songs. That's what these 7 songs are. I'm pumped.
What do you tell people on a Monday?
Like if you're gonna record videos, send it something you hear about what you're saying.
I would say that if we were to complain about Mondays for our whole lives and live like about a typical life, maybe 80 years, we would spend roughly about 11 years of our lives complaining and not doing, because that's like how many
days of the week?
Yeah, that's like how many Mondays. Like Mondays would make up like 11 years of our lives if we lived to be like 80 something.
Ah, that's a good little hot take.
Yeah.
Mondays make up
11 years of your life if you live to your 80.
Yeah, so
Something about Mondays.
So it's like if you're gonna complain and make your Monday shit and like use that as an excuse on your Monday, like you just wasted 11 years of your life.
if you do it consistently.
Yeah.
You know?
I like
Take
that.
advantage of your fucking Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John,
John and Sarah, Johnny and I, Pops, his dad sent us a video every single Monday, letting us know what's in his back pocket.
Yeah.
How he become better. You ever watch those?
I do actually.
they're phenomenal. I love the
I want us to have him like, because your dad's gotten so good at them, dude. Talk about like repetition, consistency. He's been sending us these videos since like March, every single Monday without fail, and he's getting so good at it. It's insane. But very, very Monday vibe is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
A lot of gold is within.
I was wondering who that was for a little bit.
Yeah, it's my dad.
That's dope.
we haven't done a great job of just like
saying it's Andrew.
No. Keep that keep that, like, I like that mysterious aspect.
we just call him Pops.
That's dope. So is he in Chicago then? Or?
He's in Chicago, yes. Yep. Suburbs of Chicago.
Yep.
It's a beautiful
Freaking
thing.
insane. I love what you were saying though earlier, just about
Like how the community and the people around it, Andrew was saying this too, just like how they are the ones that like help you create the next best thing. Like you can't, none of these 6 videos, or none of these 7 videos, I should say, or any 7 sounds are possible without just like your supporting cast, different people around you. I've really realized that to a T, like being away from my core community here in Minneapolis, like I've been more or less stranded in Tucson, Arizona for 3-4 months. But the crazy part about that is like I've created my own little established community out there, just based off the people that I meet, and that's a thrill of its own. Of like going somewhere where you know absolutely no one, and then like finding people that like buy into your bullshit almost. I got things that I like to talk about, things I am, who I am, and everything. But it's just funny because it's like I got landlord, like 50, 60-year-old landlords and all of her friends just like obsessed with Backpocket. Who would have thought? Like, it's so awesome. It's super fun, man. But what it really showed me was just like the power of the community back here. Like I look forward to these moments where I can come home and actually record physically in a studio with a friend, like a guy that we've already worked with, and like I'm super stoked on everything that you freaking do, man. It's so insane. It's insane. It's actually insane.
Thank you.
it comes full circle always. But
For real, I think it's really cool what you guys are doing with like the letting people outsource the equipment and like helping people create like their dreams of like making podcasts. Like,
Yeah, that's the evolution. And I mentioned to you this briefly when we worked out last week. We're starting it with Sid and Soph with Straight Candid. We're recording a podcast on Friday called the Date Night Podcast.
yeah.
so if you want to go on a date and record a podcast with your date,
Let us know.
That could be something.
Yes.
We're partnering with First Draft in the North Loop. We got our own space in that location. It's like the fill your own beer up kind of joint. I'm excited about it. And we have a podcast that we produce, Marnita's Tables podcast. So we have 3 podcasts out there, or one in production, 3 of them pretty much out there. And that's the evolution of Backpocket. I really believe, like Declan and I were saying just the other day, if we can become the Jimmy Iovine of podcasting, where we find the right talent and we just have like the right setup for them to just explode, that would be amazing.
It's a dream come true.
That's a dream come true.
Andrew and I, it'll take us 20 years.
It'll take us 20 years to get to enough revenue from just people listening to us now. Because we've had that before. We're one of a million. We're 2 million white podcaster guys who decide to start a podcast.
Right. There's too many of us.
And that's not to say we're not good at what we do or anything. It's just like we have far bigger tools than what we'll say. Like we can show up anywhere with this equipment and just like let these people record, and then not only do we know how to like record, make it look nice, make it sound nice, but we can like blast it off to the universe. And
we know so many people.
Yeah, we got everybody.
That have
we know all kinds of
just awesome stories and are great at sharing stories from a mutual perspective. Like they're not just like all about themselves type people. And that's why I came to you. Like I was like, I would love to start a podcast for you because the way that you have created your image on social media and just interacting in person, it's not the like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. It's I'm going to invest in the individual across from me and make them feel worthy. And that's just going to help both parties feel good. And like, and that's going to create the community at the end of the day. That's going to help them understand who I am more, who you are more. And it's so cool. Like we met in person for the first time on the boat at Bochella. And just our interaction from there. I think something like you came up to me after your set, or maybe even it was like during your set, you leaned over to me and you go, dude, your energy's infectious. People are vibing off you. Give me some more or something like that. And I was just like, amen. Like, and then it was just really cool of how you handled the whole situation and then just continuous communication from then on. And we know more people like that. And I feel like Backpocket at the end of the day is just Declan and I connecting the dots of other people who are about to explode. We're always going to be behind the scenes, and I'm cool with that. I'd love to be just the Jimmy Iovine, the guy that everyone knows Jimmy Iovine, but no one really knows how many people he actually worked with.
It's important, it's important to have those people.
Yeah.
And I think even with Morning Muzik, like a lot of people don't know, but this is like the Morning Muzik logo, and this is like my actual smile right here.
This is your smile.
This is
plastered and animated.
This is my actual smile.
It's white. You got some white teeth.
Yeah, you got some white ass teeth because you got a teeth whitening kit now all of a sudden, which is bananas.
Yeah. Smilesandvalue.com.
Bayo's like, hey, dude, I got this teeth
whitening kit for him. Like,
perfect.
Where do I start?
Well, first you gotta do Instagram stories on it, dude, right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Instagram story me, like 7 of them in a row. I mean, just making my teeth all super white. It's gonna be amazing.
Noticeably whiter in 1 use.
In 1 use?
In 1 use.
Yeah.
Wow. No shit.
Yeah. But yeah, for this, it was like, okay, a brand for myself, and like, I don't want to put like my face on something. Like I don't want to put like my Bayo music. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Like it's the brand behind my music, but like I don't know. It's kind of tough to promote that for me. I'm like, I'm not trying to like just have my face on everything. So I'm like, what is something that I could do that is memorable when people meet me, and like my smile. Like I think that's something that people will definitely like bring up a lot, or like say that they remember me by. So I'm like, I could do that, Morning Muzik, and then put the smile. So it's like, I think, there's a joy in like knowing that, you're doing something, but nobody necessarily has to know that,
That's a great point. And you're better when you smile, right?
Better when you smile.
Better when you smile.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the damn truth. And what's great is a smile is something that can be easily communicated
across any sort of language barrier. Like facts. When Jonah and I were in Thailand, and you don't know their language or anywhere, like literally you can just smile at someone, and that just communicates love and positive energy towards them. And what do they do back? They smile back, and that is, I just think it's one of the coolest ways to like live. For sure. Yeah, it's hard. We're teaching them.
We're coaching them up. It is 7:15. Do you have to be at comedy relatively soon?
I think so.
Okay. So we have a couple final questions.
Yeah.
How the Backpocket operates. We kick it off with your average quality. This is something you do well at times, and other times not so well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's your average quality. It's the thing that you're working on to get a little bit better at. So, what is your average quality?
My average quality is planning and organization. Something that is very, very important to me, and I can't just let go of, but is something that I struggle with, especially when it comes to like my own things. You know, like having like something that I'm a part of that somebody else runs. Like, yeah, you can do that, but like with my music and my personal goals, like sometimes it's really, really hard to put all of like my thoughts and like my hopes into like a well-formatted like plan and organize it. So that's something that I'm working on every day, you know, like planning today, planning tomorrow today, and like working with my planner and making sure that like I'm not just planning tomorrow today, but like, you know, planning next week, this week, you know, and I'm getting there, you know, I'm really getting there, and it helps to have like, you know, people around me who like acknowledge my flaws.
Right.
But yeah, that's my average. That's my average.
Average quality.
Average quality.
I got another solution for you. This is something I pitched Nolan on. Do you use interns, or do you have like anybody that you like helps you out with minor activity, like outside of producing music, but like the actual brand of what you're trying to put out?
Nobody that's like that's their role.
That's
a
a
role.
role.
There's people here and there who will assist, but there's nobody whose role it is.
Yeah. So this is something that Declan and I, this is our 2020, is employ. Find college students or someone in our community that wants to help out.
Yeah.
And ask. And because there's actually quite a lot of people that'll reach out and be like, yeah, I'd love to help you out with just writing copy for your social media or making sure everything's timely on this certain, just random shit. Anything that you need, there's someone there for it. I mean, Jonah's been a great resource in this whole thing. He's got his own business and he's got people that work for him. I've gotten advice from him a ton. As entrepreneurs, as people who are building their own brand, we just got to outsource shit because we can't do it all.
Delegate
to elevate.
Delegate to elevate. We've always said it.
Yeah.
We've always said it.
So that'll help your organization. Just have someone else organize for you.
I like that. See, that sounds like money right there.
Yeah.
It is, dude.
Money well spent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or just do it for free because they're college students.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
Right. In other things.
Value
increments.
Yeah. They proctor for
Actually,
me.
the value add really is just like being a genuine human, like understanding their situation. You know, they're doing all this stuff, and you
should ask them, like, well, why would you want to work? I want to be part of your brand. I want to help you out, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, if you're going to be part of the brand, you should be connected to the people, everyone that is impacted by the brand. Or like, that's what we try to do with our employees or interns, per se, is like, if you're going to put hours in for us, we're going to put hours in for you. We're going to connect you to the right people to get you to where you want to go. Like, your end goal is not to become head producer and CEO of Backpocket. Like, you're a 20-year-old college kid who just picked up a camera. Like, that's not our expectations of you. But if you have dreams and aspirations that you're trying to reach, I'll do everything I can to try to make that happen for you. I think that's really the value at the end of the day, when you can really focus in on those interpersonal skills or interpersonal things that people really want to do. That's really something. So I would challenge you.
I think I'm going to give that a try.
You should.
I'm definitely going to give that a try.
You should, because you got a lot of people that are fired up about you, and I think
you'll find it's, again, you find surprise and find gratification when people are stoked about what you do. This will be one of those activities where you'll see people reach out and be like, dang, people are like wanting to believe in what I do so much that they want to like put in hours towards what I'm doing. That's cool shit.
Did you guys just put it up on your story, or how did you guys?
pretty much, yeah.
That was the main
story,
thing.
LinkedIn.
Were you pretty like surprised with like the people?
Yeah.
Like 12 people.
12 people. We have one that came from LinkedIn from one.
Declan's posts, one from just a friend who used to produce for someone else, and then one we put on Instagram and just said looking for content help. And I sat down with him, grabbed a beer with him, and he has no content background. And I was like, so what do you do? And he works in sales for the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So I was like, Backpocket sucks at making money. Would you be interested in like running sales and just like, or just coming up with creative ideas for sales for Backpocket? And he's like 100%.
Oh yeah, is that Jeremy?
That's Jeremy.
I met him at
Probably Coachella. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a huge
Huge value add. I mean, as Declan and I love to just be ourselves and do what Backpocket does, he creates some revenue for us and make sure that we're, you know,
Still afloat. to
still
some
afloat.
degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
But with that, that's your average quality organization. You might outsource it. But the follow-up question is, what's in your back pocket when pressure becomes stress? When anxiety's rising, what do you have in your back pocket to overcome these situations?
It's this right here, man. This smile. You know, I think that sometimes I'll find myself in like a tough position, and I know that like the feeling can influence the action, or the action can influence the feeling. So like, you know, I'll try to just put a smile on my face for 30 seconds or like a minute, and if I'm still upset or like overly stressed after that, something's really wrong, you know. But you know, just trying to influence the feelings by an action, you know, because I feel like a lot of times we'll let the feelings influence the action, you know, like we'll let the day like bring us down, or we'll let like what people say like, you know, knock us over. But like, why can't we just like, take that action first and just like hold it until we believe it, you know? And that's kind of my take, is just like, I'll smile when things get tough, you know. This is crazy. This is crazy. But you know, it typically works for me. That's my back pocket.
Amen.
I love that, man.
It goes back to what you were saying with social media, right? Like you put your feelings into social media, and it's gonna and you don't get what you wanted, and let that control how your mood is. I mean, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't let those feelings be controlled by someone else's affirmation.
Yeah, and a smile just goes so far, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I was listening to a Rogan episode on this guy. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford, Andrew Huberman, and he says, like, you only have so much adrenaline within your own brain
that allows you to do as much as you possibly can physically. He says the way people do more than they're expected, exceed expectation, kind of have this like crushing goals mentality, or actually physically do them, is when they can implement dopamine, and with that dopamine comes a lot of just like happiness and positivity. Yeah. So like the smiling through the pain, the smiling in the times where it's tough, that simple action is going to elevate you regardless. Yeah. And just I subscribe to that 100%. Like I try and be the most positive person ever.
Sometimes we don't know. I feel like sometimes we don't know when we're actually not upset anymore, you know, when we're being upset, because it's like, you might be upset, somebody might do something, and then we've got like the scowl on our face, and we're like, pissed. And it's like, when do you stop being pissed? Like when your face changes, or like when the feelings change, you know? Because sometimes I feel like, you know, when we were kids and like you're upset and your parents are like, don't smile, and you're trying so hard not to smile because you were already mad, and you're just like, you know. So it's like, are you really still mad? It's just like it's all mental, you know. So
totally is.
That works for me. It has for a while, and you know, I don't really see it like ending soon. It's my thing, you know. You look better when you smile. It's better when you smile.
It's fucking true, man. I totally subscribe to it, and I love that you just have like a whole brand centered around it. Nothing but positivity, man. But speaking of that, we spoke about challenging you to get an intern, challenging you to kind of help delegate to elevate. Is there a guest or someone within Twin Cities community, or just anyone in particular that you think would be a good fit for the podcast that you should challenge us to have?
Yes. I'm going to do it as a duo. You probably have already gotten one of these guys, but I'm gonna go Jeremy Sutherland and Kellen David from Hybrid Nation.
Yeah.
Both those guys, yeah.
Absolutely.
Both of them.
Yeah, we haven't had them on the podcast. No.
I think that they're very, very like insightful dudes. Like, you know, you talk to them for like 5 minutes, and you're leaving like ready to like go do some shit that like you had been working on. You're like, I don't know, they're just so like, There's some of the realest people I've ever met. You know,
Fuck yeah.
It's definitely just motivate me. Like their whole brand is just like about something so great, but like they live it. You know, they're truly like working to be like better people every day, and like their work ethic is just so like attractive to me and like just so motivating to me.
That's awesome.
So motivating to me.
I spoke to Jeremy on the phone briefly. He was looking for some advice with running ads, and that's like my forte. So I spoke to him for maybe 10 minutes, but it was like 6 p.m. on a like a Tuesday, middle of the week, something like that. And I just remember hanging up, and I even told him, like, as towards the end of the 10 minutes, I was like, dude, who are you? I'm fired up right now. Like,
Jeremy's crazy.
Yeah, and he's just like well-spoken, just delivers the message. Nolan connected me with him. So love the challenge. Challenge accepted.
100%. Yeah. It sounds like an awesome dude.
Based on like his collab with Nolan and everything too.
Yeah. When you ask him a question, you would think that like he knew you were gonna ask him that like a day prior, like, and he was ready for that. Like he no hesitation, and he's just ready. Like I don't know, he inspires me. Like he's constantly working out. He's constantly working. Like his saying is, "I gotta go to work." You know, I gotta go to work, and like he's just really like almost like the Gary Vee thing, making it like cool to work hard. Like he's doing that, especially within the Twin Cities and like just amongst his network, which is pretty damn big. You know, he lives in LA as well. So I was actually in San Diego about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and I was wearing a Hybrid Nation hat, and this dude's like, "Jeremy?" I'm like,
That's sick.
in San Diego, just like
Random.
dude, never met in my life. Like this dude's not from Minnesota or has any ties to Minnesota. He's like,
Damn.
"Jeremy?" I'm like,
That's
so
awesome.
he's like, man, I definitely look up to him, man, both of them, but you know, yeah,
I love that.
good, great.
Just solid, dude. Cheers, solid. It's gonna happen. We'll get him on.
I'm trying to get him to manage me, so Jeremy, if you're watching this, he's gonna do it soon. He said he's a little focused on some other things right now, but this is like, I'm putting you on the spot, man.
Need it. Yeah, we'll clip that out. We'll send it to him.
We'll clip out, send him.
Yeah.
Jeremy will be in here.
Sorry.
Get it over to the producers.
But that brings us to our final question.
Final question.
You got to get to comedy. Decky's doing his first set since pre-COVID.
Yeah. Oh my God. So our final question.
Bayo, what did you learn today from the moment that you woke up to when we're having this conversation?
Man, so I learned that mindset training is a constant thing. You know, you can't like work on your mindset one time when you realize that it's like shit and think that you got it. You know, it's something that has to be done constantly, and the second you stop is the second like you stop. You know, so
Consistency wins, dude.
Yeah, always be growing.
yeah, you could have a great mindset today, shit tomorrow, you know, shit the day after that, or like even like in the morning I could have a great mindset, night comes around and it's shit. So it's a constant effort, and mindset is everything. You know, like tactics are great, like methods are great, but it all lies in the mindset.
All lies within, dude. Like John and Sarah says, the pot of gold's within.
Keep diving, keep finding it. Be obsessive. I think that is a great reminder. Just like always be like that. People kind of disdain on like selfishness, but at the same time, it's like, if you're not constantly thinking about yourself and your mindset, how can you be better?
How can you help others? Like, how can you help anybody? Like,
Exactly.
it's like the least selfish thing to do.
I love that, dude.
Wow, hey, you've been a hell of a guest. It's been a long time coming. It's been awesome. 2-3 months ever since Coachella.
Has it been that long?
It's been August 8th and it's October. Yeah, it's been 2 months. I would say it's
Officially 2 months.
Wow, yeah,
officially
time
2
flies
months.
for sure.
Unbelievable. But it's only the start, gentlemen. It's only the start. Unbelievable.
Thanks, Bayo.
Thank you
brother.
guys for having me so much.
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you, Jonah, for holding it down on that.
Amen. That's a wrap.